Hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Tomb Raider 2 Remastered. This is guys 115 speaking, and let me officially welcome you to the Living Quarters. This is gonna be a short and sweet level, especially compared to the Wreck of the Doria. Well, honestly, all of them are compared to that one. We are gonna get our hands on all 3 secrets, we are gonna pick up 16 goodies, we are gonna kill all 21 enemies and unlock this level's 2 level-specific achievements this time around. I will also not use any medpack, and I will also end up not saving up until we reach the very final tile of the level for one particularly annoying reason, and that's that one of the final enemies, one of the 21 in this level, has a tendency to never even appear. And it's an issue I've only encountered in the remasters as of the current patch version. I've never encountered in the remasters in previous patches, I've never encountered it in original Tomb Raider 2, and I've been unable to find any information pertaining online as to what causes this bug. Even reloading a save in the middle of the level and retracing our steps to the final area of it did not work, only restarting. So rather than saving the level, increasing our saves count, and then just having to do it all over again, I'd rather just not save and have that extra added challenge, right? So hopefully this is gonna make the video a bit more exciting. Again, for full transparency, normally we start these videos with our No Fish Soup for Today playthrough save files. However, today things are a bit different and I'm instead using my all kills playthrough. The reason is there are no sharks in this level, so the No Fish Soup Today achievement is irrelevant. I'm still gonna play through the Living Quarters level twice in both of my playthroughs, but the one I'm gonna show you in today's video is the one with all kills, because due to the fact we killed all the previous barracudas and sharks, we have less ammunition overall, and it should get a little bit more exciting as a result, because we have less resources to deal with this. But again, if you are only interested in all the achievements, not all the kills, you can use the same strategy I'm going to show you today, even for your No Fish Soup Today playthrough. And then these playthroughs are in a sense going to reconvene for the final level. So back to the game. This is very similar to the 4D Fathom scenario because it just thrusts you into water with no way back. There's a cave-in, all those eels that were underwater are now gone. Instead, you need to notice and use the underwater switch over here, which will open up a trapdoor over there. In case you'll miss it, it's very difficult to get back because of a strong current. You're much better off just restarting the level than trying to fight against the current, in my honest opinion. So there you go. This is the current I've been talking about. See how it's dragging us towards the ledge, so really getting back to the lever would be quite difficult. Now, interesting thing, once again we are going to encounter a thug. However, this time these guys have a bit of a different uniform. They have a white shirt, a belt, and this cap, which essentially says, you know what, let's just take a closer look. If you guys have any idea what this could mean, please let me know. But this essentially says Sonics or something like that. In the original, it was Sonic's Battles. You know what? This is absolutely picture-worthy. Maybe someone on Steam, once I'll upload the screenshot, will be able to help decipher this as well. So yeah, it's something like Sonic's Battles or Castle or something like that. If you guys have any idea what this is a reference to, please let me know. I'd appreciate that. Not this guy though. So be careful, he does drop a small medpack, and be extra careful when turning the corner over here, because we are not alone and there's a shotgun wielding sniper who has a tendency to try and blast us off into smithereens from this here ledge. It seems this time he decided to go inside, but trust me, you are not safe here. Well, would you look at that, a stone dragon. I wonder how we'll get it. All in due time. So our objective in this room is to move these 4 pistons around. This is the so-called default position, which is perfect for jumping towards that switch and continuing the level. The problem is we have no way of even reaching the pistons from down here unless we lower the first one and use this ledge to get on top, okay? So first we'll need to switch them to the different position. Furthermore, there's gonna be a quite nasty encounter down here, and normally I'd recommend using a shotgun, but seeing as we have only 2 shots left and would have to switch weapons in between, I wouldn't recommend. Okay, where are you? Oh, watch out for those barrels, please. Okay, I just really wanted to take care of that shotgunner, and once you touch the tile with the barrels, that also triggers them. another henchman appears, okay? So again, shotgun is perfect for this, but again, I'm showing you the all kills playthrough where we did go quite shotgun crazy. So as a result, we have to improvise a little. By the way, be careful, if the shotgunner dies somewhere over here, those automatic pistol clips might end up in the same area covered by those barrels, which would suck, because it happened to me only once in my lifetime, and I played Tomb Raider 2 plenty. But it did happen to me once that they became unreachable and I had to restart the level, okay? And I really, really hope it will not come down to this, that we'll have to restart the level. I really hope the final, well, not the final, but one of the final enemies will appear and rather than disappear from the game, but we'll see. Again, I haven't found any information about that guy online, and only restarting the level seemed to work. I really wish I could offer you more than that, but I can only offer you what I know. By the way, there is a quicker way to overcome these flames, and that's essentially to jump to this here corner and then make another jump over here and another jump over there, okay? You can absolutely do it. You will take some minor damage due to Lara's proximity to the fire if you're skillful enough, rather than catching fire in its own right. And it's something I'm going to show you how to do in our time trial playthrough. Now, you can turn these flames off, but there's no need. You might have already noticed that there's an underwater lever here. You know what that means. We'll be flooding this entire room with water, meaning the fires will die down anyway. I actually tested not turning them off now and flooding it with water. Yes, it did work. They went off. The reason is we want to open this door behind which the second half of the level is, and also a particularly annoying diver for whom I've been saving up lots of harpoon gun ammunition, okay? Now, well, when I say lots, I really mean, what was it, 10, and we picked up 3 more shots from the previous levels. If you find yourself without harpoon gun ammunition, you can still take him down, but I think it's way trickier than that. Okay, perfect. We now swap those pistons around. By the way, there's a tunnel leading here behind these 2 movable crates. What we want to do is find ourselves on the other side, and be careful, the shotgunner can walk through those crates and even shoot through them at you, okay? So there's no need to linger. Instead, let's now use the pistons in their alternate position to get onto the ledge where he was at. And because the first piston is now lower, we can climb it, but this is also the reason why we cannot reach the ledge with this switch, okay? Which is essentially our destination. And you know what, I'm gonna use the opportunity to admire the added detail. So we are in an air pocket inside a cave, which casts some, I don't know how, but some sunshine, some daylight in here. Rather than it all just being bright as it was in the original. These chains with moss hanging on them seem to have been moved to the rusted part rather than this one, which makes a bit more sense actually. But the rusted chains as a bit of an environmental detail were already here present in the original. And like I said before, everything looked way better on PC than what you see here as a PlayStation 1 version upon switching to the original graphics. Now I hear the footsteps of that guy, and they make me particularly nervous. Let's pick up our first secret. And yeah, we'll need to climb that ledge. And I hear him disappearing. Good, good, good. His footsteps were fading away a bit. Awesome. And I think we might give him a taste of his own medicine. What do you guys think? We do have those 2 shotgun shells, so again, if you're a little bit patient, you can save up some health by letting them come to you and effectively ambushing them. There we go. He does not drop shotgun ammunition, unfortunately, but I'm happy for all the automatic pistols clips we can get our hands on. Talking about shotgun ammunition, we are gonna get it very soon. Let me show you how. We are now finding ourselves above the control switch from which we swapped those pistons around. This is where the 2 movable blocks were, and we were down here with the lever. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna make sure we move this block to the left, clearing up a path for us to climb back down and up from here. Moving this one is not sufficient because, as you can see, this side is 1 step higher and Lara will not reach it from down there. That's the entire gist of it. And remember, there's 4 shotgun shells in this corner over here. We're gonna have to do some additional block pulling out for us to be able to reach it. First, we unfortunately need to cover them up to even get to the other side to move the lower level block out of the way, but then we can just repeat the process with this block to get our hands on that. Hopefully that's not confusing. I hope so anyway, I try. Oh, by the way, in case you were wondering, nothing over here, okay? It's really cool that once you start moving a block, you can pass through them with your photo mode and take a peek what's on the other side. I really enjoy doing that. Okay, now we're gonna put the pistons to their original position. This sound effect is your only hint because this time we did not get a camera angle. Make sure not to fall down here because then you just have to go through the flames room again, reach this point and reset the pistons to even make it up here, okay? Very important. There, we managed to climb up and now essentially we can pull this out twice and get our hands on those shotgun shells using the drop hole with the piston switch. That's essentially the gist. Again, it might not be worth the trouble, but if you are interested in all the achievements and therefore in the souvenirs from around the globe one, you will want to get your hands on all the goodies this game has to offer. Plus, shotgun is just such an incredibly useful weapon for these henchmen. It's gonna be way less useful in the upcoming levels, so really using shotgun to its full potential is an absolute joy. And sorry, we did not need to do this. Instead, since we already swapped those pistons around, we can get to where the shotgun wielder was patrolling. There's his corpse on the right. And now the pistons are in a position that allows us, this is the default one where they started, however we are up, not down this time around. This will allow us to reach the lever, okay, in the corner, in a sort of a diagonal opposite of where the stone dragon was. And standing jumps are your friends over here. So make sure when doing this running jump not to hit Lara's head on that lower rusted ceiling, that's the trick to it. And now we should flood the room. There we go. And thank God for the camera angle because, yeah, there was a bit of a sound effect, but otherwise I would have no idea. And you wouldn't either, unless I guess you noticed that there was an underwater lever in there for us to manipulate. Side flip should just about do it, and let's fall down. Even making a safety drop from top of the piston would not prevent you from taking damage, which is very, very unfortunate. Okay. And now let's save up as much breath as we can for the following encounters. So immediately, let's pull the switch here. This will open up the door, but we also have to enter inside to trigger the appearance of the swan diver. Once you hear breathing, just turn around. There we go. Okay, and now he should be able to find his way to us. Just wait for him here. This is the best way. Trying to outswim him or swim around him is just going to result in you taking more damage. This is the best way I found. Unfortunately, Lara needs to reload. Okay, so it did take some damage, but 5 harpoons took care of that. In case you find yourself without harpoons and still want to take care of him, you can use the air pocket over here to climb up and shoot him, but from my experience you'll end up taking more damage, and also it just takes ages, okay? So it's better to just have those harpoons saved up from the previous level. That's why I talked about having at least 6 or 8 of them. But it seems 5 are enough to bring them down. Now for the most terrifying part of Tomb Raider 2. Oh boy. Okay, can we just take a look at this? I think I'm not the only one whose dreams have been haunted by this absolute sheer monstrosity. Just look at it. Why is it even here? And you cannot kill it. This is not an enemy. This is more of a trap, just like the eels in the previous levels. Whereas those were terrifying enough in their own right, they decided to put this guy here. Now, to be fair, the remasters didn't do its scariness justice. It looks way less scary than this abomination. Look at that. I could never tell if those are eye holes or nostrils. I guess it doesn't really matter, and we know now that they are supposed to be eye holes. But once it snaps, it will go back into its hidey hole. However, we now need to get out somehow and not get bitten, because this thing will take away half of your health. Oh my god, Lara. Ooh. It started to bind way earlier than I expected it to, but okay, we made it out. That's what's important. Now do not dawdle here. Climb up and get those guns out, because you're not alone. Another shotgun-wielding sniper. These bastards, they're just absolutely everywhere, okay? This guy doesn't drop anything, which is good news in case you are in a rush, because now I'm gonna show you how to unlock the Attentiveness Rewarded achievement. Simply make a standing jump here, under the lowest part of this ceiling, okay? Otherwise Lara will not be able to make the jump. Climb up here, and congratulations, you have completely circumvented the challenge of this room, okay? There we go, Attentiveness Rewarded. Find a shortcut to avoid entering a room with 2 levers and moving something, moving a block. So this is really cool, and I actually, as a kid, thought this is the way to continue, and I was so confused by all the mechanisms in this room. So let me show you what I'm talking about, okay? It's a trick we're gonna make use of during our time trial as well, but since we're not in a particular rush, let me explain what the intended way was. That's what I'm doing in these guides. So our goal is to essentially, and the way the developers have intended it, to drop these 2 platforms, to jump up and continue, then move the block out of the way, see the shotgunner drop nothing, and then go up here, around the plumbing over there, and be on our way. But first, we have a particularly cool challenge to overcome. I really think this one is a lot of fun. Let's see how we'll do this time, because we are gonna enter a room with 2 levers, and both of them on a timer. So it helps to even interrupt that camera angle, so you can be on your way. And now, make a jump, and make sure not to start grabbing immediately, but only towards the very end, otherwise Lara will not reach these platforms. The trick here is that they're on a timer. If they're gonna let go above those spikes, it's all over. If they're gonna expire towards the very beginning or very end, you're just gonna fall on the ground, not even take damage, and you can try again, okay? And that's it. We drop the trapdoor, we can now go back up. Oh yeah, this is about as much time as we had for them. I love the edit chain details and that sort of thing, but yeah, as a kid, again, I thought the achievement path was the one that's intended, and I was confused. What is all this for? I had absolutely no idea. As I'm older, you know, and I see the flaws in games design and that sort of thing, and I understand in how much rush the developers were, I understand that this was not intended, or at least I assume it wasn't. Okay, let's see. I think a side flip should just about do it. Oh, come on, Lara, you can do better than that. There we go. So this is a much longer and convoluted path as opposed to the achievement one, but there you have it. I at least once wanted to show you how to do it properly. I'm probably also gonna show you the intended one in New Game Plus. We'll see. I mean, there's just something about leaving a mechanism untouched, which really just, you know, bugs me, and I need to at least show you what every single switch and lever does, at least once in some capacity. So you'll have, well, more knowledge about a particular level. Okay, there we go. And now you also need to shimmy. So again, you get to appreciate how much time we'll save by not engaging with this. And I think it's enough to just make a jump back. And now we're in a pipe at the very top. Slide down. And we are essentially where we climbed up using the jump from the low ceiling over here. Okay, so way less convoluted, way less dangerous, but it is the intended way, and now you know. I wanted to show you that. Furthermore, I think we can again put our shotgun to good use. But you know what? I want to save it for what's up ahead. Okay, wrench wielder over here. Actually, he draws our attention to a secret corridor. And now, I'm gonna show you how to unlock the No Unnecessary Moves achievement, which asks us with getting the gold dragon in a way that, again, as a kid, I thought is the intended way, because I never noticed that there is a breakable tile up here, because look how dark it was. I never even bothered to look up there, okay? But apparently that's the intended way. And don't worry, I'm gonna show you that one as well. But first of all, to unlock the achievement, I would recommend running into this corner over here whilst holding action. There we go, Lara doesn't hit her head. And you have unlocked No Unnecessary Moves. Do not break the floor panel to get to the gold secret in living quarters. So the floor panel is now above us. And using that to get down here also means taking some minor falling damage, even from a safety drop. Now, unfortunately, climbing back up means taking yet more damage, okay? So again, 2 ways as a kid I thought are the intended ways. Turns out are secret ways that in the modern remasters are awarded with an achievement. Now, again, since we cannot leave a breakable object unbroken, I'm just climbing back here to break it. And again, the intended way is for you to make a safety drop like this, but you will take some small falling damage. And since we already have the golden dragon, we don't need to do this. So let's just get out like this. By the way, we are in a part of the ship that's no longer turned upside down, okay? I felt like pointing it out. So these portraits we've already seen in the wreck of the Maria Doria, an actual detail. It's easier to look at them from the distance. This, I think, is the ideal distance look at them. The closer you get, the more of a pixelated mess they're gonna turn into. But yeah, now we're gonna essentially see what they looked like in their glory, except for the rotted, weathered wood and planks. And I don't think I ever took a closer look at these two. I have no idea whose portrait this is supposed to be. Some young lady, maybe even a girl. And this Titanic painting, I assume, is supposed to represent the Maria Doria before it was wrecked. I mean, it is essentially Titanic, right? They just didn't want to call it after a real ship. So I think that's pretty neat. Okie dokie. Now, 2 more breakaway tiles over here. Let's break one and then the other. Okay. Oh, we can already see Barracuda swimming on the other side of that window. Pretty neat. If you want to break the other, just make a backflip and go on. Be careful though, do not linger as more breakable glass is there, so depending on how risky you consider that, you might not even want to engage with them. Oh, and this is gorgeous. So this is a glass ceiling, which was here in the original, but now it actually lets some light in. Oh, and by the way, these Barracudas can swim through the breakaway tile up here, okay? Just like pointing it out. The enemies just defy some of the laws of physics that Lara has to follow. There we go. See, both of them made it through that breakaway tile without actually breaking it, which I find really funny. Okay, I was hoping it'd be a swan dive, but interesting to see what happens when you try and swan dive onto a breakaway tile in water, I guess. And now for the best secret reward in any level so far. M16 clips. Yes, we'll need these desperately for the final chapter of the game. I'm not gonna say more than that in case you have never really played Tomb Raider 2 in the past before. Okay, more crunchy delicious breakaway tiles ahead. This is a very interesting part of the ship. It's all narrow and twisted and crooked. Well, that's what happens to wood when it's constantly in water. Makes perfect sense. But now, you can essentially, if you're quick enough, make a jump on this breakaway tile and before it fully collapses, grab the edge over here. If it collapses, don't worry, there are no glass shards or spikes or anything like that. You just have a bit of a more annoying time trying to reach this slippery slope to grab that. Okay, so let's see if I can do it before it collapses. Nice. Make sure to twist Lara a bit to the left. Do not try to, by the way, grab this from the right side of the breakaway tile because that is too high. You want to focus on the left corner, okay? Otherwise, it exceeds Lara's height capabilities, unfortunately, and we can already climb up. And this room is very large and also very empty. And something I regret not doing when we were wandering around the captain's cabin in the wreck of Maria Doria, I did not light a flare. I didn't think to do it for you guys who might have darker screens, so I'm going to try and make amends from now on to keep that in mind for any darker sections in these levels. I mean, we have plenty flares. Let me check how many. Oh, we're fine. We're good. There's more flares where that came from. Oh, get your guns out. So, this guy is really slow. Rather than ambushing us from behind the railing, he decided to go all the way around, okay? What's really cool is these seeds. They made such a lasting impression on me as a kid. And look how colorful it was in the original. This is a bit more realistic, but we can absolutely admire the floral pattern. This was a bit of a mess. I would never imagine even these are supposed to be flowers, but there they are. Yellow and red roses and who knows what. Some people say these are beds, and it would make sense since the level is called Living Quarters, but as we'll find out later on, these are actually seats. We will not see a single living quarter in the level called Living Quarters, which I find very unfortunate. I would love to know how luxurious the rooms where passengers slept were. Oh my god, this guy is insane. He managed to hit us once. Okay, but we survived that brush with death very gracefully. And by the way, we are approaching the area where the disappearing enemy hangs out around in, so we'll know soon enough whether this playthrough was good for something or not. I mean, in the very least, I showed you how to unlock the 2 achievements, but I don't fancy having to restart it, seeing as I'll have to play it again for our No Fish Soup Today playthrough as well. I'm gonna move the crate a bit closer. It's not really needed because there's nothing under this crate, okay? Moving it here just helps you reach the top over here, but you never ever need to do that again since we already moved this crate out of the way, clearing up a path in this staircase and crossroad. But if you wouldn't know that in advance, you might have to go back up with the help of this crate, okay? And I just really wanted to move a pullable crate at least once. By the way, the enemies in this area drop nothing, which is absolutely infuriating, so don't bother. And again, normally I would prefer shotgun, but there you have it. Oh, I can hear you. Probably smell your breath as well. Again, drops nothing. And now, this is a lot of fun. You know what? I'd be more comfortable getting rid of a particular enemy first. So, first of all, let's move this block, because underneath there is actually something. What I'm concerned about somewhat is that whilst we're here, we might get shot at by another shotgun wielder. Oh, you could have already seen him. Okay, we got our hands on a theater key. Oh, this is gonna be my favorite part of the level. Okay, let's try to get behind him. Oof. There we go, finally we cleared this area of enemies. Now here's a really cool thing. What you see right there is the final tile of this level. You take one step over here and we will enter the deck level. Ah, so neat to see a preview what they built here for the Living Quarters one. The reason they bothered really is these transparent windows. By the way, they were transparent even in the original, right? Which I find incredibly cool. You could get a sneak peek on the deck itself with benches and stuff like that. And also a large cavern over here, which should be filled with water. Now it's empty, okay? They were efficient. They didn't show you anything that was not within the capability of you, the player, seeing in advance, okay? Now the way we can reach that space is... Again, there's the intended way, and then there's the way I tended to do it when I was a kid, and that's to, we'll just make a running jump, tilt Lara to the left, climb up, and now, if you cross this threshold, you will end up in the deck level, okay? I find it really interesting. The devs probably thought this is an impossible jump, because what you're supposed to do is fill this entire area with water to be able to swim there. But using just sort of the perfect running, grabbing jump while tilting Lara to the left and pressing action key at the last second, you're able to do that anyway. So again, it is something we'll make use of during our time trial run. But for now, let's explore the most beautiful part of this level. Oh look, another sneak peek. And before, we couldn't even see what's on the other side, now we can. That is pretty amazing, I love that so much. Ah, thank you Remasters for allowing me to immerse myself into places from my childhood. How much shotgun ammo do we have actually? Yeah, I think I'd prefer shotgun for this one. This guy is quiet, okay? Don't let him ambush you. For some reason, this one particular henchman makes no noise, even though the identical looking ones do. I do not understand why, and it's driving me crazy. It's a very scary ambush just by the virtue of him being so quiet. Anyway, theater key. Guess where that leads? The theater, and also a place where one of the final enemies in the level tends not to appear if you're unlucky enough. The moment of truth is very close. Okay. Let's kill that guy. And now we find ourselves in something very reminiscent of the Opera House. And I love this so much because Gianni Bartoli, whose vessel this was apparently, not only performed in Venice in the Opera House, possibly the La Fenice Opera House, but also he had an entire stage and theater on board of his own ship. And he was a magician. He performed magical tricks in Venice and also wherever the ship was on his own stage. And there's something so incredibly cool and sad about the fact that it's been buried and dead. It's truly remarkable. I love this storytelling. It's never explicitly said, but if you just pay attention to few lines dropped by Marco Bartoli, by Poster in Venice and by looking at the stage on what's supposed to be his vessel, according to the monk we talked to in diving area, you can put these pieces of story together, right? So this is where he would perform for large audiences. Our objective is to, again, just like in Opera House, raise the curtain to be allowed to go in, because behind the curtain, for whatever reason, is the flooding mechanism for the final room, assuming you do not want to or cannot make the jump, okay? Okay, we managed to pull that off without taking any damage, wonderful. And the shotgun wielder over here dropped Uzi clips, okay? And now, my friends, behind the curtain is not only the means to flood the final area of the level, but also the penultimate enemy, a wrench-wielding thug, who has a tendency to not appear sometimes. And I think it's something similar to the diving area bug, where the rifleman and the Doberman dogs could sometimes disappear out of the game upon you changing the level geometry. And again, it's something specific to Remastered that never happened in the original as far as I remember. So now, what can happen is we'll raise the curtain, get here, and we will not be ambushed by an enemy, and that's when we have a problem and I'll have to restart the whole level again. I am nervous, because we did quite well. Okay, the moment of truth is slowly approaching, and I hope... Oh, I hear footsteps, I hear a wrench. Please. I can hear you, can you please come out? I've never been so happy to meet a Bartoli's henchman in the past. Well, that doesn't mean I'm gonna let you smack us in the head with that thing, okay? My friends, I am happy to say that this enemy has appeared. There is one more we'll need to take care of, but what this means is that we have not encountered the bug. If for whatever reason he would not appear and you are interested in all the kills, then I'm afraid you'll have to get yourself killed and restart the level, or even load up the Wreck of the Maria Doria level. Okay? So this is the enemy I've been talking about and the sole reason why we're not saving. Now, from this point on, I can absolutely save the game, but why would I when we're so close to the finish line, right? Let's hope I'll make it. There is... I mean, there's just a bit of glass shards I need to watch out for. By the way, nothing behind that crate over there, not that I can show you how dark it is. But there we go, the purpose of the block was just to make it up here. And press the switch, which will flood the final area, provided you didn't do that grabbing, running jump to get across, which is absolutely a viable option, and something you can use to save up more time for the time trial. Okay, so there we go. I love this throwback to the Opera House so much, such a gorgeous level. And there we go, up those rows. Be very careful, because the final enemy is a shotgun wielder, okay? And you know what, I think there's only one appropriate way to take care of these guys. We're gonna use our final shotgun ammunition to celebrate the fact that we made it without encountering the disappearing enemy glitch. There we go, awesome. Oh look, he dropped some. Well, you lose some, you get some. Wonderful. So we're back to 2 shotgun shells, and we can pick whatever enemy we'd like in the next level to kill off with that. Awesome. Wonderful. This is such a relief how this turned out. So again, we can now climb up here the intended way, not using the running jump. And before we take another step, I'm going to save the game here. Oh, I almost oversaved our No Fish Soup Today achievement. Careful. We are now doing our all kills playthrough, so I'm gonna make a save here. And this way, we'll now see the living quarters also beaten, and then the final, the deck level. But let's see the in-game stats. Wonderful. We made it in 24 minutes, that's with me talking all the time. We have found all 3 secrets, got tons of M16 ammunition, which is going to be absolutely crucial for the final few levels. We picked up all 16 goodies, and we killed all 20-man enemies, meaning we did not encounter the disappearing wrench-wielding thug henchman glitch. That's a mouthful. If he will not appear and you are interested in all the kills, unfortunately, when it happened to me, I only found restarting the level works. We also unlocked these levels 2 specific achievements, and we managed to pull it off without using a med pack and saving up until, of course, the very end of the level. Very happy about how this turned out, and like I said, there are no sharks in this level, it's completely irrelevant to the No Fish Soup Today achievement. So, this is as far as this video goes, but stick around because I would like to thank you guys for watching and also my amazing Patreons for supporting my channel so generously and patiently. Blaine Goupel, Mick, Severin Drax, Marek Malec and Katie Danger, thank you guys so much for being my Winstons and for bringing us something to drink when witnessing Gianni Bartoli's magician act. Big thanks to my caretaker Winston, Michael McConkie. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and also for treating Lara to several sessions of therapy after witnessing that horrifying underwater monster. Next, I would like to give a very special thanks to my veteran Winston, Andrea Paviglianetti. Thank you so much for your support, sir, and also for single-handedly fighting off Bartoli's henchmen at Lara's home while she's away on her journey. I'd like to think that veteran Winston here is defending Croft Manor whilst Lara is away. And finally, I would like to give a very special thank you to my one and only fine vintage Winston, Akira Foxmind. Thank you so much for so generously supporting the channel and also for sharing some of those comments for the algorithm. Every little bit helps and you've done a lot. I would also like to thank you for preserving and restoring parts of the wreck of the Maria Doria, because as we saw in Living Quarters, we could see entire parts of the ship finally in facing the right direction, not turned upside down, and that's also gonna be the case in the deck level, and that's all thanks to your restoration project. And on a final note, thank you to everyone who has watched this far, and thank you for sharing all your comments when you guys have tackled these levels. It's interesting how all of us fans from different walks of life tackle these levels differently and have completely different takes on them. Some of us love them, some of us hate them. It's what makes this so spectacular and interesting in my humble opinion. And also, thank you for being patient with me. I'm trying to increase the rate in which I'll be producing these videos. There are multiple facets of my life I need to juggle, but hopefully I'll make it. And without further ado, I will now start working on the final Mediterranean level, the deck. And it's an absolute beast, and I'm also quite anxious to see if our no fish soup today achievement so far has worked. There's only one way to find out, so stay tuned for the deck and happy raiding.